So I got a new tape in, and get out here a little bit further, and I'm going to shoot back to a really important site. Well, we're going to try to walk all the way out there to the Mohair Tower, which is in ruins, and then there's some archaeological sites out there as well. So, and if I go in that direction, I'll come to Iceland. But there is some islands right off the coast. They're the Aran Islands.
Another day.
With some sun in it.
A little sun whenever we need it.
But it sure has rained on us.
Not on us.
Not on us, but on the car and camper.
We've been lucky.
You should have seen the roads we were on. Whew, they were stressful. Sometime, a lot of effort was put into this wall that are just slabs of stone. They probably got them way over there where the people are standing. We have a little ways to go. Well, we came from down in there. To walk around this little crevice, and then maybe I can see my hill forts, and plus we got to check that out. It looks like the rock formations were just cut with a giant saw. I guess that's where they get all the slate from, or it's not slate. Maybe they did cut it. I'm almost there, but I bet I get rained on. So just to the left of that pile of knobs sticking up, pile of rock, knob, whatever. There's the natural arch. Lots of birds. Well, it's starting to rain. I'm going to give it up. Not worth it. And the hill forts are a lot further away than I thought, so I'm going to try and figure out a fast way to get back. The Spanish Armada, after it fought the British in the British Channel, and the storm swept them and wrecked them, quite a few of the Spanish Armada sailed around the north of Scotland and came down this side of Ireland. Now, on the other side of that point out there, we can barely see it. Other side of that point, a Spanish Armada ship wrecked, and the people caught them and took them ashore and executed them. Well, it had stopped raining again, so I don't know. I think I'll just go back. Maria's not going to come. And out on that point, way out there, are the hill forts. So I think I can find better hill forts. Well, I'm on my way back, and this is pretty pretty spectacular and spooky too, because if I fall off here, you're dead. Wouldn't be a nice death either. Be horrible, broken bones, smashed heads. Oh, splat. Well, I'm back. Look at those people. I don't know where Maria is. I hope she's in the camper. Alright. Oh, there. Where I'm pointing.
Oh, go on.
Okay, you see the island?
Yes.
Okay, just this side of it in the bay was the Armada shipwreck. One of the Armada. And then these people that lived here, and I don't know if there was military involved, but the people here captured them and marched them.
These aren't going to be very good because
Well, the last that we talked was about where the Spanish, one of the Spanish Armadas, the shipwreck was. Now they marched them inland about 5 miles, and I don't know why they marched them inland, except on the other side of this knoll here, this hill, is St. Catherine's Convent, which is no longer there. It's all fallen down and in ruins. But on top of this hill that you've been looking at, they put up the gallows and they hung them all right there. And there's no monument, there's no marker, there's no nothing. I've simply found that out from a little thing on a map and the locals telling me.
here we are, stuck in the mud. The tongue broke on the camper, so we're setting up shop for the night on this main highway because the man can't come until the morning to weld up the tongue. So we got the camper off the road and leveled it as best we could. And here's DC taking some weight out. Just doing the best he can. Okay, bye-bye.
Come on in though.
You're on.
Well, I need to be able to read this. This is Saint Brigid, Mary of the Gale. It's one of the most beloved of Irish saints. And Saint Brigid's Well, which we're filming right here, is one of the most famous wells, holy wells, in all of Ireland. Each year on August 15th, people gather here from far and wide and saying prayers, leaving petitions and messages of thanksgiving on the walls and shelves of the little well house, continuing a tradition of devotion that extends into the distant past. The historical Brigid lived in the early 6th century in Kildare, but there is a mystery about Brigid. For in pre-Christian England, Brigid was a goddess associated with poetry, healing, and smithcraft. At the place afterwards called Kildare, which means Church of the Oak, there was a sanctuary with a perpetual fire, tended by a group of holy women whose leader was held to be an incarnation of the goddess. According to the R.A.S. McAllister, Brigid was a ritual name of this leader of the fire cult, and he argues it was the last of the succession who accepted Christianity. So we have a place that the Celts believe is a sacred place. They changed it as they became Christianized. It now becomes a holy place associated with Christianity. They still can worship here. And the perpetual fire was kept going well into the Reformation period. So we're talking into the 1600s. I don't know if you can shoot some of these things.
Oh, isn't that sad?
I can read some of them to you. Thy will be done in loving memory of Mark Clark, who died on the 3rd of May, 1997, aged 35 years. Some of these say, please say a prayer for Dan and Alice, who died May 96 and August 97. May they both rest in peace. Here's another one that says, please pray for my mommy and daddy and family. Please make our home a happy home. God bless you, Diane. And here's the one that says, I can't read it.
That's okay, Doug. I get the gist.
So, water, the life-giving symbol of fertility, was the focus of the Celtic spiritual life. The genius of the Celtic Christianity lay in its ability to adapt the ancient and deep-rooted veneration of water to its own purposes. Sacred wells became holy wells. Now, this place is supposed to be so famous. It's so important. People come here and pray for something to happen. Across the road is O'Brien's monument. They erected that monument because O'Brien served his people well. And the O'Briens have been a family for hundreds and hundreds of years in this area. And yet, you would think there would be a little sign that says St. Brigid's Well. Nope. Purely by chance. If I hadn't had this map, would never know. And O'Brien's monument is unsigned also. Well, we're inside what is called a friary, and you're probably getting bored with these ancient churches that are falling down. But what is amazing is that they continue to bury people here. Here is 1978. When's that one, Marie?
1951. Their son erected it from Boston, Massachusetts.
But this window is supposed to be famous. Don't know why. I've got the paper and it tells me why. But there's huge stone slabs everywhere. This was also in the pamphlet. So that's really, look at the stonework on it. And this church was built then there's writing, but I don't know what it says. And then across, directly across from that window, or that, I think it probably was a window, but it's been bricked up. Little door to get through. Don't know purpose of that. Now here's the bigger tomb. And you see you have a beautiful site for a cemetery to be laid to rest. You know, change the thought a moment. The sea is higher than the road there. Look, there's a car coming. There's the sea. No dike. I'm going to try and see if I can get a date here. Directly in front of me, but I'm shooting into the sun, is another one. Must have been very important. But look at the tangled mess we have here. Then down below is the more modern cemetery. The date I read is 1820, so we got a little bit of battery left. We got to shoot at castle. Wait, now go.
Okay, undoubtedly the most impressive of all the O'Brien's castles in the district of Ballinalacken, set high on a plateau, which in itself is a natural defense feature. It is surrounded by a bronze wall, portions of which remain together with a round arched gateway. Very well preserved, it is an excellent example of a fortified tower, probably built sometime in the 15th century, although portions of it may be earlier.
Okay, let's go. Well, now we've got the sun to our backs, and this is a typical. We've seen what? Several of these already. A round tower house, they're called.
Some of this portions of it, you can tell.
Didn't an American bought this? Remember?
So an American owns it.
Right, American bought it and restored it.
Who was it?
Remember? Galway.
Galway. So the Galway family owns it.
Yeah.
I never heard of the Galways.
So,
I bet they're not here very much.
probably not.
They just can say they have a castle in Ireland.
Rich SOBs. Earlier this morning, or earlier this day, we were looking for the tourist office, and we took the camper up this road. It was very stressful because the sea is very narrow and there wasn't any room for anybody coming the other way. Luckily, there wasn't anybody coming down while we were going up, and it's steep as all get out. What we didn't know was that we weren't supposed to have our camper on this road.
Well, the tongue broke on the camper, and here is Doug and a nice man who came out with this truck, putting it back together again. Well, we had to camp on the side of the road last night. It was an interesting evening.
No. Well, it's 4:30 Saturday afternoon. We are a little ways north of Limerick, which is a very big city. As you can see, all is well again with Mr. Camper. He's had a really hard time this trip. We are in a very lovely place, situated on a lake. We'll do a little bike riding later. And as you see, it's not very crowded, which is a good thing because there's only 2 shower stalls. And we have some sun, and it looks like a mountain to climb. So I'll have to check that out. Tourist Bureau, which we're going to head for, do a little shopping. We need some food. We've got a ton of clothes. I would assume it's over there, Marie.
It's not over by the houses.
Wow, this is 10 o'clock Sunday morning. We are at a place called Lugur. This lake was drained or lowered by draining, and about 100 years ago they found all these megalithic, Neolithic, Celtic artifacts. So we are on a little path that's going to take us to where the houses were, or maybe they were. No, I think this is the fields. Does the path end? And then, so these were small gardening plots right in here. They came across two round circles where houses had been, and it reminded archaeologists of spectacles, so that's what they're called. And then there's supposedly be an island that I'll talk about shortly. Well, I have to go up a little path here. I don't know what I'm going to see when I get to the end of it. We've got a lot of things here. There's an old castle over there. Really don't care about that. Probably check it out though. There's hill forts here. Crannog is man-made island. That's probably the man-made island right over there. I bet it is. It only had room for one family because it was only 30 meters across. And I don't know, I would guess a hill fort would be up there. Well, I just have a real pretty view from up here. They think that the name Lugr, which is an anglicized word of the Irish, or the Gaelic word, meaning lake of noise. And that's because this is a place for migratory birds to stay coming. So you had everything here for the people. You had water, you had good food, easily catch fish. But I don't know what this path is doing. Here's an idea of what a crannog looked like, which they built in the lake, and they had a rowboat to get to it. Okay, the stone circle is over there. There's the spectacles, which I was at. See how that looked? And I want the hill forts. Oh, that's a lime kiln. I wondered what that was. That's where the crannog was. Well, here I'm at a site of a megalithic tomb. This is the best one I've seen so far. They uncovered 4 children and 8 adults here. It has been used as a burial site for hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years. Well, according to the Irish,
What was the other one you saw?
this is the finest and largest stone circle in Ireland. And they believe that it was, well, they found evidence of more than 4,000 years ago when it was constructed. They believe it was used for religious purposes. Now there's probably a druid, and he probably is telling people things for money. Now, the light came through a very narrow opening, probably there, but I'll read that sign. And they think that they gathered here early in the morning on the summer solstice, and the sun would come up and shine directly through the narrow opening, and then light up something. I'm going to walk over there.
Don't get going, Tucker.
Well, we're wondering how they move these rocks, because I mean they're pretty big. Heck, that's the biggest one right there. Go over and stand next to that big one, Marie. Get an idea. So, definitely was a sacred place. Don't know what that. We got these little gals running around here. These little Irish girls.
Look, whoever I throw a race to the no. Oh wait. If I throw my teddy and whoever catches it wins. If I throw my dog, whoever catches it wins.
Say anything, Marie? Well, we've left the stone circles, as you can see, and we came to a town called Bury. And here was this very quaint, picturesque mill. No longer in use. Pretty neat, huh? Diverted the water and then okay, we're going to go to Treylee, where there is a ship being made. Well, we've come to Treylee. I told you to film the ship. They're making a reconstruction of a Irish ship that was used in the 1840s to take immigrants to America. Well, we've come down here. It's turned into a crappy day. They're not finished. They're way behind schedule. There's part of the ship. I'm going to jump in there. But here's the wood that's going to be used for the ship. And now I'm going to cheat. So this place was supposed to be open at the end of May. And I heard this BBC documentary on it that said they were using all the old methods, the same kind of tools. They were going to make the ship just like original one. Well, look, they cheating. They got a crane in here, and so some of it is obviously not going to be correct. Let me try and get a little closer here. So you see they're using glue. They probably didn't have glue, but the keel is in. And they haven't progressed, I don't feel, probably as much as they had hoped they would be. Now this is a big project. This thing, when it's finished, is supposed to sail to Boston and New York, go on up to Quebec. The Kennedys are involved in sponsoring this. As well as other but it's obviously not open today. Well, that's about all there is to show you this ship. I might as well finish up on the windmill. I have about less than a minute left, so we'll look. We're going to move on down now and go to a medieval town. So don't know anything about the windmill. Ireland is starting to upset us with the lack of signs and getting ripped off money-wise. I haven't been ripped off by the Irish State Bank. Can you believe that? They didn't give us the correct amount in the exchange.